The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Outside Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Wisconsin State Fair 125 at the Milwaukee Mile. This is round 15 of the Premier Racing League's American Pool Supply Truck Series, and you're going to get to see all 125 laps unfold live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Samuel Ryman, and alongside me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes we have our director Joe Peak, doing all of our button pushing, and our camera sets, as always, are provided by Dougie Beard. Sean Jeff Ward has won the last two races that we've had this season at two different short tracks. This weekend, however, we're at a slightly larger oval.
Just a little bit. The world's oldest continuously operating motorsports facility, the Milwaukee Wild. And we are here tonight in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, known to some as Milwaukee. Now, this track, Sam, 1 mile. Yes, a 1 mile bull ring, basically. 9.25 degrees banking. Wow, I can't talk this evening. Under this fixed setup on this track, Sam, it's going to be wicked fun. But for the best way to get an idea of what it's like around the Milwaukee Mile, a really, really fast trip around the Milwaukee Mile, let's hop in the GSRC Silverado truck.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yasek, taking you for a spin around the Milwaukee Mile in the GSRC Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck. Here we go, without further ado, off of turn 4 to get our guide started. Milwaukee is a very, very wide, very, very flat track, very unique to drive. Down here into turn 1, hard onto the binders. You might see guys kind of float out here just a little bit, try to diamond the corner off and get a straighter run off of the exit. Speed at Milwaukee is found by the walls, not coming from the bottom of the track up. Down here into turn 3, you can get a little aggressive on the braking and try to let it float here right around this rumble strip. And sometimes you can actually kiss that a little bit, try to help to make the truck turn. Just helps the wedge of it a little bit. Coming down the front stretch once again, turn 1 is going to be pretty similar to how we took it the last time. Heavy on the braking, letting it float up there, maybe in that second groove, kind of diamond through the middle, try to drive it straight off. The quicker you can get to the throttle and the quicker you can get off the corner, the quicker your lap time is going to be around here. Down into turn 3 once again, floating out by the wall, bringing it down here, running pretty much the same line, down in 1 and 2, high, and then try to exit low and then bring it straight out to the wall, making sure all the while not to kiss it. Down the front stretch and across the line. That's going to complete our guide here around the Milwaukee Mile. I'm Brian Yasek. Enjoy the show.
Well, the last time we saw a GSRC vehicle going around this track, it finished in second position, and you're going to have to get a finish like that, Sean, if you want to finish this championship high up in the points. We're in the midway of the season. What is our championship picture looking like?
Well, Sam, let's take a look at that now. Give everybody an idea where we're at. Brian Yasek is the points leader. Now, only 34 points behind is James Scarola. Big news! Brian Yazik's at a racetrack tonight, and it's not the Milwaukee Mile. He's down in Iowa and has already completed watching the IndyCar race there today. He will not make it home in time for this race. Tyler Dalton 6th in 3rd. Well, not too far behind him, Tim Johnston there. Rick Thompson in 5th. The top 5 still all pretty close. Now, things are starting to spread out here just past the halfway point of the season, and now you look back, you see Jeff Gow there in 6th, Travis McQuistion, Jake Wright, Brad Collins, and Norman Pelletier rounding out your top 10 for the season. Now, I think we've got, do we have some summer standings to look at here for the segment? We don't. So we're just doing the season standings today, but that's where we're sitting. Again, the really big news is Brian Yazik is not going to be here this evening, and that is kind of a bummer because he probably, well, let's just say it'll probably be a big hit in the points for him if his followers can, the guys who are chasing him, can get a good result this evening.
Well, James Krahula, the driver second in points, was third fastest in practice. Now, what you see here going on is qualifying. Every truck has a track to themselves for 10 minutes, with which they can turn 2 laps. And there you see the fastest driver in qualifying right now, Tim Johnston. That being said, only 6 drivers of the 20 drivers here have actually turned a lap in qualifying so far. So we'll wait to see if anyone can beat Johnston. However, he's 29.938. The lap that he turned is faster than any lap time turned in practice. So pretty good time there by the driver of a number 54.
You know, the conditions today ripe here at Milwaukee for good horsepower, good speed, and maybe a little bit of grip, Sam. It's mostly cloudy, 78 degrees. It's only 89 degrees on track. And the surface here at the Milwaukee Mile can be a bit of a, what I like to call a cheese grater. But with these conditions, I think maybe, if they can keep it mean and green, we could see them go 50, 60, even up to about 80 laps on a fuel tank here with 100% fuel. So now we do have the halfway point that they don't throw a caution flag out. So again, very possible right now. We got 20 cars here. With only 20 trucks, we could see a very long green flag run that would have us pitting under the green, and that could get very interesting at a 1 mile track.
Yes, it could, and you'll lose a lap, probably not 2, unless you're about to go down the lap anyway, if you come into the pits under green. So, but I agree with you there, Sean, that I think track position is going to be worth more here tonight than than new tyres, but we're going to have to wait and see how the race unfolds, if it does become a double lane racetrack or if it will be single lane. Right now though, the drivers have got to bet that the best bet for them to get up front and get another tally in the win column is to qualify well. No one though has been able to top Tim Johnston's 29.938 with 5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session before our 125 lap race.
Yeah, and I do see some other trucks starting to come out, and it looks like a few guys were just kind of sitting and waiting. Jeff Ward, one of them, just now getting out on track, working on his first lap here. Jeff Gow, just he's on his second lap now. Looks like he just came around, got his second lap in, did not move up the board.
Yeah,
Thompson's still sitting in there. Ricky Harden's still sitting in there.
This is interesting. Like you mentioned, Sean, I think Jeff Ward just completed his first timed lap, but yet it didn't count it. So maybe he grazed the wall coming off of turn 2. I'll have to go back and check. But if that is the case, and he's burned the tyres off, maybe this lap time won't be fast enough to move him to the front. Well, it gets up front, but not the pole. Second place by Tim Johnston.
Yeah, it was a hot one. Not hot enough. Wow. That's 3 1,000ths of a second that he misses Tim Johnston by, and that is pretty tight.
Yeah, looks like our qualifying, the drivers who are going to turn a lap in qualifying have done that. No, we do have one more car getting ready to go out on track. Tommy Ryan. And he has already completed his qualifying time though. So yeah, let's go ahead and give our pole award here to Tim Johnston, the driver of the number 54, who turned his lap very early on in that Toyota. He turned his qualifying time very early on in the session. Let's take a look at it, Sean.
All right, and this is your NP3 Designs Pole Award winner tonight in the American Pool Supply Trucks. We're spinning that up now and getting it ready, but Tim with a really, really hot lap at 29.938. And like I said, that was just 3 1,000ths better than Jeff Ward. We'll go on board now with Tim as we ride around the Milwaukee Mile.
You see him hugging that low line through the corners. Seems to be the fastest way to qualify around here.
Yeah, I really think that's where the speed is. Obviously, you want to take the shortest way around and down on that yellow line. Not over it, not on top of it, but right next to it is where you want to be.
Yeah, but look how long these turns are, Sean. You talk about riding on the low side and you feel like, okay, I've clipped the curb here, I've been turning for a while, I can get back on the gas, I'm already at the apex, but really you're not. You're only about a quarter of the way through the turn once you get down there on the curb.
Yeah, almost reminiscent of, let's say, a New Hampshire, in the sense that those turns, they seem like they never end. Agreed with that, but a great trip around by Tim Johnson gives him that MP3 Designs Pole Award. Congratulations to him and his team, and that is a great way to start the day.
It's still got a few minutes left until the trucks get gridded up here. And like you mentioned, just 3,000ths of a second between Tim Johnson and Jeff Ward. Now Andrew Jones has yet to turn a lap in qualifying, so let's see where he can go up on the order. He was 16th fastest in practice. Of 18 trucks actually turned a lap in practice. Now there's 20 trucks here, but only 14 of them have turned a lap in qualifying. So he'd be starting somewhere between 16th to 20th or 15th to 20th if he didn't turn the lap, but he does turn one. And there you see it has jumped him up to 10th in the front half of the field for the start of a race.
Well, Sam, I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to this week of racing at the Milwaukee Mile. I know you've got a little bit of experience here. You ran the Lotus 79 with the Lionheart IndyCar guys, and this is a wicked fun track. But I think it's just about time to go on down trackside to present this nation's colors and the national anthem.
anthem has been sung. 1 seconds left of qualifying. The session is ending and the trucks are about to get gridded up on the front straight here. 15 trucks turned a lap during qualifying. 20 trucks are in the session. Let's take a look at them. Beginning with our front row, as we mentioned, Tim Johnston, just 3,000ths of a second, or 4,000ths of a second according to our computer, ahead of Jeff Ward. And then we have Tyler Dalton, my apologies, and Tommy Ryan there on row 2, ahead of Paul Pepper and Gary Whitson. James Krahula and Travis McQueestrom round out row 4, while Dustin Hall and Andrew Jones, the driver we saw turn a lap at the end of qualifying there, complete your top 10.
All right, and everybody's favorite country artist will start 11th today, Randy Yoakum. 12th, Snoop Doggy Don Runkle. The double lot will start in 12th. Norman Pelletier starting 13th today. Jeff Gao, 14th. Canada's own Devin Cannon, 15th tonight. Ricky Harden, Mr. Carolina, he'll start 16th. 17th, going to go to American Pool Supply's own Rick Thompson. Derek Paulson will be starting 18th. John Wilco, 19th tonight. And Stephen Herring going to round out this 20 truck field tonight. I'm hooked on cars. I got to get myself straight here with the trucks, Sam. I can't wait to get started.
Well, you won't have to wait too long, Sean, because we're just waiting on a couple more trucks to hit the track, and then we'll get going here. Now, of course, Sean, we mentioned at the top of the show, the driver who has won the last 2 races has been Jeff Ward, the driver of a number 89 truck. Well, he was fastest in practice and qualified second, so it seems even despite the fact that we've made the track bigger, he still has a truck that can pick up the hat-trick of victories tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? One of the things I think that makes Jeff Ward a favorite here tonight, he's good on long runs, and I just have this not a sinking feeling, but a gut feeling that I've had for a few hours now, that this might come down to a really, really long run, Sam. We were talking to James earlier, but I have this strange feeling that we'll see a long green flag run, and that might decide this race. And boy, position going to be very, very important. I think they will all be a premium. Passing will be a premium. Taking care of the truck will be a premium. There are no fast repairs in this series. You better be on point this evening, because it's going to get rough out here.
19 trucks about to take a green flag. Ricky Hardin, I guess, is going to be starting from the pits. He was meant to start from 16th. Tim Johnson is there in the top spot as a Ford Mustang pace car. Leads him out turn 4, makes a hard left turn. Green flag is in the air. Johnston leads him away on his outside. As we mentioned, we have Jeff Ward in second. Can he hold on to that position? He's on the high side.
Boy, and there's still double file coming out of 2. Paul Pepper all over the bumper. Tyler Dalton. I'm okay.
And Jeff Ward, as you mentioned though, Sean, does get a good run out of turn 2, where we saw the trucks hugging the low line in qualifying. It seemed that the inside lane was desired, but Ward countered Johnston on the high side in turns 1 and 2. However, Tim pulls the front a bit as they go down the front straight and leads lap 1. Still no sign of Ricky Hardin.
Gary Whitson making time down on the bottom there, number 13. Silverado charging hard, just got by Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan slips in just behind him. James Krahula in front.
Well, with these top 2 running side by side, Paul Pepper's trying to break up the action.
Yeah, and boy, Tyler Dalton playing around right behind him there. Dalton runs up the track, loses ground to James Krahula. Krahula making that run down there on the bottom.
Those curbs are inbounds. You can use them. It kind of helps turn the truck if you use it correctly. And Ward, it looks like he's finally given up a ghost. The problem is, while he was battling side by side for the lead, the trucks were stacking up behind him and Johnston, and now he's not going to be able to find a hole to get back on that low side.
Most of the field is settled in, Sam. really right now looking all of these trucks in a line right now except for Derek Paulson and Don Runkle back here side by side. That's a battle for 15th.
Yeah, these drivers trying to get as much real estate as possible early on, work our way up towards the front. Best time to do it when the truck's all bunched together. Now we look at about for 7th, Travis McQueestron in it.
Yeah, McQueestron in a number 93, that mixer Toyota. Right behind him, Dustin Hall giving good chase in the Monster Energy number 37.
Yeah, that was a trade for position. McQueestron moving up to 7th and Hall dropping back to 8th. A big loser there, though, has been Gary Whitson, the driver behind him. He started 6th and has gone back to 9th. On the other end of that spectrum, the big mover in the opening stages here has been James Krahula. Started 7th, up to 3rd in just 5 laps.
You know, he was able to get that truck down low and working at the bottom of the track really well early there, Sam, and I think that really paid off for him. We're now just starting to rattle off laps here. James, again, just got it digging down there on the bottom. Paul Pepper looking over his shoulder. I think James got a little bit of the wall coming out of turn 2. Might have slapped it just a little bit, the right rear.
Andrew Jones definitely got a bit of a wall. He started this lap in 12th. He qualified in 10th. Remember, he was a driver turning laps at the end of qualifying. He was dragging the wall all the way back down the back straight. I think his truck got away okay, but he lost a lot of time and momentum and drops from 12th to 15th on lap number 7. We see a couple of new drivers battling for that 12th place. That was Devin Cannon, the driver who qualified 15th. He's working his way up into 11th now.
Yeah, Cannon leading that group now, making way and getting done with them. He's going to go work on Dustin Hall. He's got a little bit of ground to make up here. Cannon up 4 spots, bringing Jeff Gow with him. Jeff Gow, that number 92 EB Games Chevrolet. Norman Pelletier seems to be a little off of that truck. He's not gained any or lost any right now, but he's getting reeled in right now. Derek Paulson looking to make a move to the inside here, Sam.
Yeah, well, you mentioned he's in the same position he qualified, but ever since we caught up with this battle, he's been dropping back positions. So my guess is, for whatever reason, something happened at the back of the pack at the start, and he gained a lot of spots, and he's just lost them back on pace here, it would appear. Meanwhile, change for 3rd place. Jeff Ward has gone by James Kahula. Oh,
Yeah.
and we got Devin Cannon spinning on the back straight. We talked about how he had been a big mover. I think he might have gotten away with not too much damage, but it does bring out our first caution of the race.
You know what, Sam? You're going to see right here on the replay, he spins it by himself. Truck starts to drift up the track. He's going to catch the wall right there, a little bit of it. It spins it around. He doesn't touch it again, and he doesn't touch anybody else. Everybody gets by clean. That's a fortunate flag, but I got to tell you, with 11 laps, I'm not shocked here to see everybody come in. I think that might be the call.
And I think what's happening there, Sean, is because everyone's running that low side. The problem when you run the low lane is you got to use up all the track on the exit for the best racing line. But then there comes a point where that wall sometimes the wall comes up on you a bit quicker than what you anticipated when you're going from the inside to the outside lane. And you just got to crank a wheel a little bit, and the rear tyres don't like it. And that's why everyone is coming in to get some new rear tyres, being led by Johnston.
Yeah, let's top it off with some Sunoco fuel and go ahead and give me 4 fresh good years while we're at it. Might as well get back to racing hard. It's early in this race, and
Johnson overshot his stall. We could have a new leader coming out of the pits.
Ooh,
And-
Tyler Dalton only going with 2. Dalton's away.
And the leader in 4 tires off of pit road might have been Paul Pepper, or was it Tim Johnston? We'll have to wait and see how that played out.
I'm showing Tim Johnston. Actually, Sam, it does look like Ty Dalton going to be the only one that decides to go with only 2 tires.
Yeah, it really looked like Paul Pepper was going to beat Johnston out of the pits and then backed off. I wonder if he thought he was speeding and he's like, oh, I need to slow up to bring down my average speed. But let's give a shout out to Tyler Dalton. He dropped back a couple of spots at the start of the race. He dropped from 3rd to about 5th, I think. But he is currently running 3rd in the points. And he's only, well, he's about 20 points back of James Kahula. But he's going to be a driver who's really going to benefit in the championship from Brian Jarzik not being here if he can pull off a good finish, especially if he can pull off a win.
Yeah, definitely. Not out of line to start thinking about your end game here early. We're on lap 14. Got off to a really good start there. It's a shame that we got that yellow. It's also it's fortunate on the other side of that. It's fortunate nobody really got damaged in that. And like I said just a moment ago, everybody's going to get back, going to get an opportunity to go back racing really hard here. And, we get into another groove. Who knows? We may not see that caution for a while. So, again, good start. I think it's going to get even better. This restart's going to be exciting. Tyler Dalton's going to get to lead everyone off there on the inside.
Down to 18 trucks now. Rick Thompson has retired from the race. I don't think he was involved in anything. Also, I'm watching one of the trucks running at the back, the 98 of Stephen Harron. He's been blinking in and out due to connection. Now, even though this track, it seems a bit big at times, being 1 mile on, that is short as far as oval tracks are concerned, Sean. And the good news for us is that means short cautions.
Yeah, definitely. They are side by side now, lined up, ready to go. The lights are out on the pace truck. Or I'm sorry, the lights are out on the Ford Mustang. We don't have the truck leading off the field this evening. Guys, you could have used the truck. That option's available. Maybe next time. Okay, maybe I'm understanding we can't use it on pavement. That's not important, Sam. What's important is that car is getting ready to peel off now.
Oh, I think it's absolutely important. Now, one thing about Milwaukee is pretty much once the pace car pulls off, the green flag goes out. So the leader doesn't have a lot of control here. Green flag already out, and Tyler Dalton does not get a good restart. Tim Johnson will lead the field over the line.
Wow, Tyler Dalton sleeping on that just a bit.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that. As soon as a pace car peels in here, it's like how Pocono works on iRacing. As soon as the pace car disappears, you need to be on that gas pedal. Johnston leading Ward, then Dalton able to hold on to 3rd. Look at Kahula dropping back on the high side.
Yeah, James not getting any help here to get started. He continues to drop. Tommy Ryan's going to get that position from him.
Meanwhile, I said we were down to 18 trucks. We're not. Ricky Harden has finally joined the race, but he's 16 laps down. He's going to have to hope for a lot of cautions. Unfortunately for him, I don't think we're going to get a lot the way this race has been going. So Johnston leads. Ward, Dalton.
Trouble, Sam. Trouble. We got trouble back here. Out of 4. No caution flag yet.
Wow, Dustin Hall went down to the inside wall. John Wilco is slow.
Yeah.
And we have 1 truck in the grass.
Wow, no caution flag there. Dustin Hall, like you said, was involved in that. See from above, that's the number 37 there on the inside. That's the black and green truck. Oh, and it happens up in front of him there, actually. And we started with the number 5 there, Derek Paulson, who was struggling.
Yeah, he was the truck, I think, that went through the grass. Oh. There was a big check up in front of him, and it's kind of hard to tell why. But they all did a good job of holding on to it, and we stayed green. It just means these drivers at the back will be hoping for a caution to get any repairs done, because there did look like there were a few knocks there.
Yeah, Dustin Hall's definitely going to need some help on that truck. He is pretty bent up right now, but the battle rages on, and we'll worry about what's going green here. Actually, another truck that picked up some damage, that was Jeff Gow, the number 92, looking pretty beat up on the rear end and the front end after that. He is chasing Devin Cannon. Cannon now up 4 spots. He has been on the rails since that green flag dropped after the caution, trying to pull in Norman Pelletier now.
Look at James Cahula all the way down on the apron to try and make that truck turn, and he pulls it off and gets by Tyler Dalton. Let's not forget, Dalton is the driver who took 2 tires, restarted at the front, dropped back to 3rd very quickly, but then he held on for a few laps to that 3rd position, but now he's letting this pack go by him. I think he's going to drop to 7th. It's McQueestron underneath him right now. So, top 2 are broken away, and I was going to say we have a pack running for 3rd, but actually Paul Pepper's a bit ahead of that. 4th on back, quite close. Now a battle going on in the back of the field.
Yeah, I'm still... Well, that's Runkle and Pelletier right there, just up in front of them. Gow, Cannon having a really, really tough battle. Cannon still locked out of the inside. Gow is really trying to make it work up top, but it's Cannon that gets the better run off of turn 4 right there. He's going to win that battle for now. 4 laps to go. Gow took it back from Cannon. They've just gone back and forth here over the last several laps since we got restarted.
No, as we watch Cahula make a nice move on Tommy Ryan there. I'm taking a look back at that battle you've been watching, Sean, and a driver back there that I did not expect to see back there. It's Gary Whitson. He was 8th fastest in practice, 6th fastest in qualifying. He's usually a top 10, if not a top 5 truck from when I've seen him race, but he's just back here hanging outside the top 10 right now.
Well, hey, listen, this is a 125 lap race. No problem with sitting back there riding and keeping it clean, Sam.
We'll have to wait and see where Gary ends up in 100 laps time as we hit lap 25. Oh, what was moved by Tommy Ryan here on McQueestron. McQueestron's just going to lend it to him there. It looked like they almost made contact coming out of turn 2, but no harm, no foul. Although McQueestron's going to try and get the spot back. Of course, while these two battle side by side, that's good news for Tyler Dalton behind them, who might be sizing them up in the future. And they have a large gap ahead of Randy Yoakum back here in 8th.
Now, you remember we looked at that battle between Jeff Gow and Devin Cannon? Well, Gow got the position back from Cannon. Gow's actually gotten around Andrew Jones, put him between himself and Cannon. Now Gow finds himself up in 9th, tracking Randy Yoakum, who's out there riding by himself right now. Yoakum going to be the easy target here as Jeff Gow gets on the hammer and really is starting to figure out a little bit about the Milwaukee Mile.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there, Sean. Gow has been one of the biggest movers so far this race now. He started 14th up to 9th. Here's a battle for 10th.
Yeah, Cannon would like to get locked back in on Gow's bumper. And right now he's trying to get by Andrew Jones. So far, so good. Jones has been pretty good off the top, but doesn't get it that time. Give it to Cannon.
Yeah, racing Jones, racing Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones slides up now and may lose another position to Gary Whitson here, who maybe is thinking about coming into this top 10. Gary Whitson loses another spot there. Don Runkle Jr. not too far behind.
Yeah, I haven't talked much about Snoop Doggy Don. He's keeping it out of the trouble, keeping it in the gray. That's a good spot to be right now. Remember, the battle right now is to get to that halfway point, Sam. Lap 63 will be the American Pool Supply Halfway Award. And, 30 laps out of the way. You can start thinking about it.
Yeah, it's hard to feel right now that anyone other than Tim Johnston will get it unless they have another caution and he overshoots his pit stall again. Although I'm sure once you've done that once, you make a note of yourself not to do it again. I think, if I recall when I was racing in the Lionheart series here earlier this year, the thing that really threw me off about the pit stalls, I think they're a bit longer than what there's just something funky about the way they look when you're entering them that makes it very hard to hit your marks.
Not sure about that one. Our leader getting by the slow truck of Ricky Harden. Harden struggled to get off the turn 4 there, Sam. Sorry to not continue the thought, but it was kind of a tense moment there when Johnston came up and tried to get around the 15 there. Ricky Harden, he slid up to the wall, got a little bit of contact. Wonder what's wrong with Ricky tonight. Things just don't seem to be right with him.
Well, he didn't show up for the first 16 laps. Can't imagine why he's out here trying to race for points, to be honest, when he's not in the top 10 to begin with, but maybe he's going to try and work his way up there by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're just past the halfway point of the season, so there is much to be gained by getting out here and turning laps, especially when you've got a few members missing this evening. So, but even now that he's out here, it does seem like he's just a little off.
Yeah, would have to hope for 17 Coastal Safety Auditors Lucky Dogs. Of course, we haven't seen Brutus at all tonight because the first caution, and we see second caution. Is it Norman Pelletier?
Oh, Norman hits it really hard coming out of 2. Ouch.
Oh, we saw him struggling earlier, Sean.
Yeah, he continued to struggle. The car just ran up the track on him. The rear end started to step out, and he just couldn't correct it. It snapped on him. There, it overcorrected just a bit. It snapped, and he hit really, really hard. Ah, boy, poor Norm. Gonna need to bring that truck in. That's gonna be a lot of repair.
Yeah, Derek Paulson is going to have to hope for some grass tyres on this pit stall because both wrecks we've seen he's had to go into the grass to kind of get out of it. Fortunately, no damage for him this time. So, Johnston's going to lead them into the pits as we get our Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. Is Brutus. He will go to Ricky Harden, who is now only 16 laps down. Man, imagine if he'd held on just a couple more laps ahead of Johnston. He'd only be 15 laps down. He'd really still be in this game. Anyway, it looks like our second round of stops coming up here.
Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Always good to see Brutus, but always good to figure out what the strategy is. And, well, let's see. Everybody coming down now, Sam.
Johnston does it again! Overshoots his pit stall again. Now, we got away with it on the first round of stops. Will he be as lucky this time?
Looks like everybody going 4 this time. And Jeff Ward is going to be the first truck out.
Not too surprising to see there. Well, I think I'm going to do a couple more laps before we get the green flag. So, let's take a quick break. As we have a look at our top 10 rundown, we'll be back here for the restart on the GSRC. Hello and welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile, where we are just about to finish up our second caution of the night here at the Wisconsin State Fair 125. This is the Premier Racing League's American Pool Supply Truck Series, round 15. 125 laps. We're about to complete lap number 38 with Jeff Ward now in control of the field because Tim Johnston has overshot his pit stall under both rounds of pit stops. Now remember, when the pace car makes a hard left turn, Ward is pretty much going to have control of the field almost immediately, so he'll need to get on the loud pedal right about now as the green flag is out and he gets a nice jump.
Boy, Paul Pepper gets a great jump too, and he gets a jump right into the bumper of Tim Johnston.
Yeah,
Pepper throws it down there at the bottom. Johnston gets shuffled up to the top and into the wall.
Oh, and a couple more trucks slide into him. John Wilco and Derek Paulson. That looked like netcode from my end. We'll have to see a replay. I mean, you see there's a gap there. Oh, it's a 4. Okay, I was looking at the tail end. It was, man, that's a bizarre hit. It's still a little bit netcode, but oh, and then just a whack there kind of put an end to his day. So our driver who dominated most of the first third of the race has now retired. John Wilco, I think he saw the traffic down low. He's like, no, I want to go high, just stay out of trouble, and unfortunately he found it.
You know, it almost looked like Tim, he suffered his little wheel hop right here. On the left front, you're going to see, gets right up near the quarter panel, the right rear quarter panel of Krahula.
I think what happened, Sean, is the two tires ran over each other.
That's exactly what I'm with you. I think that's exactly what happened because the way Tim's truck reacted was that of it actually catching the rubber of the other tire and getting that hop. Like I said, kind of a wheel hop. You see it happen in modified cars and Indy cars all the time. Very rarely do you see that in a fendered vehicle, but that's almost what it looked like.
Yeah, no, I've got to agree with you, Sean, there. It looked like an open wheel crash when we watched on the replay, and that's what was throwing us off when it happened. We're like, boy, did Johnson's car just break or something? But no, you saw what happened there. He made a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact with Krahula, and of course that's a problem now for James Krahula, our driver running in second place. Has that bent his suspension?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any evident damage on James's truck, but you know, again, when it comes to suspension, you just don't really know. Only he knows what's going on down there behind the wheel right now, and whether or not that truck feels right or not. But right or wrong, James Krahula is in second right now, and Jeff Ward still leading this race, Sam.
Now, should have been, honestly, I'll put this on myself, I should have been paying a bit more attention to the drivers at the back of the field who chose to pit under this yellow, because I wonder, as we have one truck stopped, yeah, one truck, as Ricky Hardin stopped coming out of turn number 4 there, I wonder if any of the drivers at the back of the field who pit under this yellow will be able to make it to the end if we have enough cautions.
Well, it will be really, really close. Now, a few of those guys that did pit were the likes of Derek Paulson and Dustin Hall, Snoop Doggy Don Runkle. Now, Norman Pelletier still got the damage. He's still in there. John Wilco is in the pit. I believe he has taken some damage too. He's now out.
Yeah, meanwhile, we saw Ricky Hardin stopped on track. Let's give him a shout out again that he got the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. So just 15 laps down now.
And there's Brutus. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. And hopefully we don't run Brutus too hard today.
Yeah, I've got to admit, Sean, at the start of this race, I thought Ricky had about as much chance as Brutus of winning this race. But now with all these cautions coming out in the last few laps, it looks like Ricky's chances are improving. We'll have to wait and see. The pace car lights are off as they work their way through turns 3 and 4. Let's try this again with Jeff Ward and James Kahula on the front row. So Kahula where Johnston was for the last restart, and Ward on the loud pedal pulls away, and Kahula realises, yeah, I don't want to be in the Johnston position, but he's got no choice because Paul Pepper trying to go underneath him.
Yeah, Paul Pepper driving it hard. James kind of moved up the track a little bit, opened the door for him. Pepper right there. Ooh, here comes Tommy Ryan, gonna make it 3 wide, heading down into 3.
Not sure this will work, and James Kahula agrees, backs out. Paul Pepper and Ryan still close to contact, but Tommy Ryan is one of the cleanest drivers in the series. Jeff Ward, by the way, loving all this happening behind him.
He's not paying any attention to it. He doesn't care. Tommy Ryan cares, though. Boy, Paul Pepper just giving him the business up there on the top side. James Kahula, he's kind of trying to get himself into the mix, but backing off just a bit. I think I'll wait.
Yeah, Paul Pepper fades on the high side, and like you say, here comes Kahula.
Yeah, Tommy said, enough of that, James. You deal with him. I'm going to go try and get Jeff Ward. We're going to yellow again, Sam.
Fourth one of the day, Randy Yoakum and Andrew Jones involved in an incident in turn 2.
Yeah,
there's no incident limit.
Looks like it happened going into 1. Yoakum gets a little bit of contact from Jeff Gow. And Yoakum spins. He gets touched up a little bit by the 59 to Andrew Jones, but I think for the most part, Yoakum's going to be able to recover from that.
We'll get another replay of it. Andrew Jones, an innocent victim here. Alright, so I expect the leaders will stay out again. Now the lucky dog this time I think will go to Norman Pelletier. Yeah, and the leaders are coming into the pits. Pelletier will double check, but we think he's got the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog here, as Jeff Ward leads all of the lead lap trucks pretty much down pit road. All these drivers hitting their pit stalls quite well, as we see Pelletier getting the lucky dog there. I think what's throwing it off to me now that I take a look at the back down pit road, Sean, is the pit stall's actually very small, but when you drive down there, I just recall that it never really felt that way.
Yeah, it is a bit of a weird pit stall, Sam. This is an old track, and I don't think when at least when iRacing scanned it, I don't think there'd been any plans for any type of reconfiguration here on the pit stalls. But yeah, definitely strange, and I'm not so sure why.
The good news is, at least from what I could see, there weren't any drivers who overshot their pit stall here. It was definitely something that Tim Johnston had been struggling with earlier, but of course he's now out of this race. Let's give you a top 10 rundown after this round of stops. It's Ward ahead of Pepper, Dalton, Runkle, Ryan, Kahula, McQueistron, Whitson, Gow and Cannon. And my question there is, how did Runkle get up to 4th? I wonder if he took 2 tyres on this stop.
He did, Sam. In fact, your top 4 all taking 2 tires.
Yeah, I thought I did see that out of a couple of the trucks up front, but I had to go and double check myself because it didn't make sense to me at the time. knowing that it seemed most of the field was taken for. So, Ward, Pepper, Dalton and Runkle, will they hold on?
Sam, my fuel calculations tell me that you can definitely make it from here on fuel. Now, who's that bold? Who's bold enough to keep it on track regardless of anything that happens? Who keeps it at the front? Does anybody take that gamble?
Well, if it stays green to the end, which right now it doesn't look like it will be unless we get back to the racing we had at the start of the event. If it stayed green until the end, you wouldn't have to worry. You just race out there until the checkered falls. The questions, of course, is going to come, when do the cautions fall? Good news for us is this caution is about to end, and Jeff Ward has taken the high line for this restart with Paul Pepper down low. Pepper's been one of the more aggressive drivers we've seen on these restarts. What will he do with Ward, and what will Tommy Ryan and James Cahool on row 3 be able to do on 4 fresh good years? Here we go, we're about to find out. Ward gets a nice restart, the 3 drivers behind him do not.
Wow. Ward shot out of a cannon there.
They hold on to second and third. Runkle's going back.
Dalton has to get out of it, almost runs Paul Pepper over.
So Ryan is in 4th place, McCreestron is in 5th, Runkle getting loose on those 2 tyres. Just seeing trucks blast by him on the inside.
Yeah, there's the 4, James Cahool looking down to the bottom. Right there on the inside of the 13 and Gary Whitson. They are side by side coming off the turn, and James Cahool going to get it.
And Gary Whitson has finally worked his way up into that top 10. Alright, now we're about to find out how much track position matters, because we've got Tyler Dalton on 2 tyres with Tommy Ryan on 4 tyres right behind him. It took him a couple of laps to get sorted, but now it's a race. Oh, meanwhile, John Wilco running 1 lap down. He just blew his engine out of turn 4. We saw him involved in an incident early on. He's coming into his pit stall. I don't think we'll see him coming back out.
Tough break.
And once again, all this battle for second that we have on screen going on far behind Jeff Ward already. He's checking out on these restarts.
Boy, here's Devin Cannon coming back up through the field again. We're watching this battle up front, but Cannon already back up to 9th spot. Just behind them, you've got Randy Yoakum working the inside of Don Runkle. Several trucks stacked up there. Oh, the 59 almost gets into the door. Andrew Jones almost gets into the door. Runkle, they're making it 3 wide coming off the turn 4. There's the 37 of Dustin Hall.
Runkle struggling a bit with those tyres. Because one thing putting 2 tyres on is makes your truck a little bit looser. And I think we have seen that out of Runkle. I've seen him squirreling a little bit. James Cahool, I'm being told, just clipped a bit of the grass. He's still running.
Yeah, Andrew Jones is around in the middle of the track and the caution flag is out.
Yeah, I turned my head down the front straight to see what was going on with Cahool. Let's see what was going on with Jones back here on screen. He pulled the pass, and then did he get bumped from behind from Runkle?
Just a little bit, yep.
Oh yeah, wow, Cahoola's sliding on the entry of a turn. And boy, if this was happening in real life, I'd say it's almost like there was an oil leak down in turn 3. But of course, iRacing doesn't simulate that. So Cahool just had a little bit of a slide, but was able to hold on to it. Man, nice job. Alright, well, it looks like our leaders will stay out under this yellow, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back for the restart. Well, as you saw on our side-by-side there was some action on pit road. Pit road was closed 1 lap longer than what I expected. So here we see Paulson in the pits. He just got the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog, and he'll be back on the lead lap, provided he doesn't go a lap down here, actually. The pace car is on the front straight, and Paulson is going to lose that lucky dog trying to get repaired. So, nice appearance by Brutus, but unfortunately for Paulson, it was all for naught. So, let's get back up front, because not all of the leaders came into the pits. All but 3 of them did. Tyler Dalton, James Kahula, and Jeff Gow are out there on all tyres. How much do you like this call, Sean?
Well, I don't think it's a horrible call. But what's the plan? What's the strategy here? I mean, are you gonna... If we wind up with a green flag run here, was that the plan, was to stay out the whole rest of the race? I don't know. It's like I said, it's not a bad idea, but it is a bit of a gamble.
As we mentioned, Tyler Dalton sitting 3rd in the points. Probably wants a good points finish tonight, perhaps even a win with the absence of Brian Jarzik. Now, he gets a good restart here, and I don't think he'll have too much trouble, because he's got clean air. James Krul and Jeff Gow, those are the 2 I'm worried about, and Jeff Ward already working his way around the outside in that blue truck, the other light blue truck, Paul Pepper, on the inside of Jeff Gow.
And things getting crazy already. Travis McQuistion and the 13 of Gary Whitson really, really close to each other on the restart. McQuistion moving down on the bottom. That number 93 Toyota is picking up a couple of spots already.
It's about to get busy up front. 3 wide for the lead. Jeff Ward to the inside of Tyler Dalton on the old tyres. Kahula backs out a bit. We've seen Kahula back out of a 3 wide scenario early on in the race. It's a smart thing to do as Ward and Dalton make contact. They get away with it. But boy, that almost could have been ugly as Paul Pepper now goes down the inside of Dalton. So,
Paul Pepper, been a busy man tonight.
Yeah, so Ward leads, Pepper 2nd, and Kahula, even though it was a smart idea to back out of that 3... Oh, and caution.
Oh, boy, Ricky Harden.
And Paulson.
Yeah, Paulson, nowhere to go, catches him. Oh, boy, and I think might have hurt the motor really bad there, but you're going to see Harden just lose it all by himself. Truck starts to slide coming off of turn 4.
Oh, hard hit, and the bummer there for Harden is he was only 4 laps away from getting 17th from John Wilco.
You know, see Paulson's plight here, and again, plenty of time to react. It was just, there was just nowhere to go. He was right on top of him here.
Yeah, very fast snap. Not the first one we've seen tonight. But yeah, like I was saying, James Kahula, even though he made the smart decision to back out of that 3 wide scenario in turn 1, it ultimately ended up costing him a position to Paul Pepper.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad now. What is the rest of this field going to do here? Are they going to decide to come in now? If they do and everybody else stays out, I don't know. Here we come around and everybody is staying out on the track, but they're up front. Jeff Ward, Paul Pepper, Travis McQuistion are going to leave those trucks out on the tracks with Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, just 4 trucks stay out at the end. I'm not surprised to see Dalton, who misses his pit stall severely there. I'm not surprised to see him come in, as well as Gow and Kahula. But then, once those 3 came in, and I think Randy Yoakum took 2 tyres there, once those 3 came in, everyone behind said, hey, let's do the same thing. There's already 3 takers, the leaders are staying out, this is our chance to shake things up a little bit. The thing is, 4 drivers who have stayed out on track, Jeff Ward, Paul Pepper, Travis McQuistion and Tommy Ryan, they've only got about a lap or 2 on their new tyres and their fast trucks to start with. It's not going to be that easy to dispose of them on the restart.
Yeah, I mean, really, they've only, like you said, they've only got a few angry laps on those tires, so the difference not much here. That was not not a very fast segment to get started there. So, we
our
did.
our lead at the halfway point was Jeff Ward. So let's go ahead and give him our American Pool Supply halfway award. He pretty much was awarded that when the caution was coming out there. So a lot of stuff going on, but yeah. Ward has been leading the race for the past several laps. Let's see if he can keep it up there.
American Pool Supply, where the pool is clean. Hashtag pool is clean. And congratulations to Jeff on picking that up and his bonus points, his 10 bonus points for getting that today.
I'm now starting to wonder if that's why James Kahula and Tyler Dalton stayed out, because when on the previous caution, when Ward overtook Dalton, it was a completion of lap 61. So he almost got that award, Dalton. And that would have been big bonus points in the championship for him.
Yeah, it would have. The Premier Racing League, where every point matters.
Alright, so lights off on the pace car. Ward will have control of the field for the restart. He picks the high side again. Paul Pepper, we've seen him being aggressive, but we haven't seen him lead yet tonight. He's there on the inside in second place. Third, technically, will be Travis McQueestron in the 93 truck on the inside, with Tommy Ryan to his outside. Those are the only 4 trucks on old tyres, but they're not that old. Let's wait and see what James Kahula, Devin Cannon, Gary Whitson, Jeff Gow, Dustin Hall and Norm Pelletier rounding up the top 10 can do behind. Pace car makes a hard left turn there. Ward on the loud pedal once again. Once again, a nice restart by Ward, a good restart by Pepper as well, the single file up front.
Well, Pepper's been great on every restart tonight. Tommy Ryan a little bit better on that one. Oh, Travis McQueestron really had to back out of it in the turn back there. That allows James Kahula to slip under.
This going on for 4th place now. Tommy Ryan running away with 3rd. Devin Cannon trying to get in the mix. There he goes, up to 5th. Got the 3 wide going on the back of a pack there, and it hasn't worked out well. Norman Pelletier goes on the apron. I think he got away with it, but loses a lot of positions.
Yeah, no caution. Randy Yoakum able to skate by. Stephen Herring, another truck that was able to kind of skate by there. Let's try and pick that up on a replay.
This was actually far ahead of that 3 wide. Now I wonder if he clips the inside wall here, right where that tyre comes out. I couldn't tell. It didn't look like he did, but if he didn't, he got close, he got lucky. Meanwhile, Travis McQueestron, I've been watching, dropping back a couple of positions at the tail end of the top 10.
Yeah.
Jeff Ward, Paul Pepper, Tommy Ryan, James Kahula still lead up front.
And Tyler Dalton just got by McQueestron. Picks up another spot. McQueestron still kind of falling through the field after that restart there, Sam.
Yeah, not good news for him.
Dalton trying to pick up Jeff Gow here. Oh boy, Dalton going to the inside. Boy, he stuffs it in there. Like he didn't even think twice about it. He knew that's what he was going to do. He takes the spot from Gow. Now Gow back there fighting with McQueestron. They're side by side, heading into one.
Yeah, Gow backs out of it and McQueestron gets position. Back around 8th place it is. Meanwhile, through all of this, Gary Whitson, I've just been keeping half an eye on him throughout the race, because he was at the back early on, then he was in the top 10, now he's up to 6th. But how long will he be able to hold on to that with Dalton behind him?
Back through the field here, Dustin Hall, Andrew Jones fighting for that 10th spot. that oh so important 10th spot. Right now it belongs to Dustin Hall. Andrew Jones had a little bit of trouble tonight, but he's still digging the number 59. Mobile 1 machine is running in 11th, and he would love to get that spot back from Dustin Hall.
I'd agree with you there, Sean, because he's had more, I think, than just a little bit of trouble tonight, and a lot of it has been out of his control. Meanwhile, a change for third position. Kahula's gone by Tommy Ryan. Fifth place is about to get interesting, with Cannon right ahead of Whitson, right ahead of Dalton.
Funny you mentioned that. That was the battle I just locked on to. Dalton back there sliding around looking for an opportunity here, and boy, Gary Whitson better be careful. He rubs the wall coming out of 4. Don't show Tyler Dalton any weakness. He will take advantage of it. He'll try to anyway.
Cannon still in front as they go down the back straight, but here goes Dalton taking a look on Gary Whitson. Whitson has to run a lane up, but see, Cannon's really slid out of the groove there, and they're both going to blast by him.
Wow. Things going to open up for Dalton down on the inside when Whitson moved up there. Whoa, Dalton going to take that spot now. Wow.
So our driver third in the points just went from 7th to 5th in 2 corners.
It's like the Red Sea parted for him.
And the battle just as intense now is shaping up for second, with Paul Pepper, James Kahula and Tommy Ryan all nose to tail. They remain single file for now. You can't say the same about 6th place, where Cannon goes back by Gary Whitson. And that battle's been going on so long that now Travis McQueestion has run them down.
Yeah, and Jeff Gow's really started to fade now after being part of that battle. But I tell you what, Tyler Dalton doing a really, really good job of getting back on his horse here and fighting. But Devin Cannon got some pretty good speed right now, and does almost look like he's starting to reel him in just a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if at some point these drivers battling for second, battling for fourth are going to say, hey, maybe we should start worrying about that 1.5 second gap that Jeff Ward has built up at the front of the field.
Yeah, Jeff is really, boy, he's doing himself well by just continuing to lap after lap put that distance between him and the rest of the field. Not a very big field this evening. Got a bunch of cars on the other side of the wall right now, so traffic not going to be a huge factor for him. In fact, he's got really, really clean track, about half the track in front of him still. So Jeff, right now, like the mission, just keep burning up these laps. It'll be lap 80 this time by. 45 laps to go, Sam.
Yeah, 15 trucks on the lead lap and the other 5 are behind the wall. That's an effect of a lot of cautions, is that when you get the wave arounds like that and the drivers who are off a lap get, that they're damaged in the pits, is that all the cars still left running are on the lead lap, battling there with a shot at victory. Granted, the driving 15th Stephen Heaven's chances might not be as good as Jeff Ward's, and Paul Pepper's chances were almost out the window right there as he got real loose out of turn 4, and that's going to cost him second position. Oh, and hit by Tommy Ryan, and spun, no damage yet.
Boy.
Paul Pepper tried to come back down.
Yeah, no damage, but I can guarantee you, Paul, not going to be very happy about that. It's just racing hard. It certainly wasn't, that's not what Tommy meant to do, but it gets Paul around. It doesn't take much when you're in the middle of the turn like that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to view that one between them, because going off of past experience, Paul Pepper's been very aggressive today, whereas Tommy Ryan is one of the cleanest drivers in the series. There wasn't much of a gap there for Pepper to feel, and And it's a good thing that wasn't uglier than what it was, because otherwise those two drivers might have some words about that one. And they might still have some words about it. The good news is they're both still running with 44 laps left to go. And I think pit road is about to get very busy.
I think you're right, sir. And so far I've heard nothing on the chat between the two. And I agree with our director. I think that was a racing deal, man. And your truck is still in good shape. So, Paul, get a good pit stop in here and get back to work. Tough getting in his box right there as we see he's the last one to go in. That's not good.
Ward is the first in and the first out. Looks like everyone has taken 4 tyres, but I've been wrong before this race. I'm going to double check on this.
Wow, Pepper going to slot out in 12th.
It'll be fun watching him come through the field. We saw him make some exciting moves to get to the front earlier on. What's he going to do in the second half of a race? Well, there's a look at your top 10. Let's see if the lights go off this time, considering we don't have any trucks on track that are running more than a lap down. If they stay on, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back for the restart here. Let our viewers get up and stretch. And the lights do indeed stay on. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll be back for the restart. Approaching the 1 hour mark in this race. There's a 2 hour time limit on it. Hopefully we won't hit that. We've seen several cautions, especially in this second third of the event, and I'm not sure it's over, considering the fact that Paul Pepper is going to be restarting from the back of the field and we expect him to make lots of moves. So things are really going to get mixed up in the middle of a pack here. Jeff Ward taking the inside lane this time around for the restart. We've seen him taking the outside lane for the last couple of restarts. Will he get just as well of a jump this time as what he has been over James Krul on the outside? Let's find out. Here we go, as he's on the loud pedal, he's pulling away. Kahula kind of holds with him, but then goes down to the inside, makes it single file.
Devin Cannon back here in the 38 finally got himself up to the front here. He's stuck up on the outside, can't do anything with it. Dalton gets by. Dalton holding on to that podium position right now.
That was Andrew Jones, who saw really out of a groove in turns 1 and 2, and it cost him a lot of positions. Let's not forget, all of these drivers on the same tyres now. They all came down under that last caution, and they all took 4. Travis, oh, and a spin at the back there. And the Norm Pelletier, was he entering the pits?
Yeah.
I think he's, I'm going to have to double check.
I'm checking for you, Sam. I think Norm, boy, I'm following it right now.
It was a very late decision. He was going flat out on the front straight, and now he's retired from the race. I'm wondering if something came up in the real world, because if you were he must have been speeding coming into the pits. If you were gonna make a scheduled stop, you would have committed to pit road a lot earlier than that. So I think he was just going down the front straight. Something happened. pulled it hard left into the pits, and now Pelletier is out of the race.
Yeah, very strange deal for him. So hate to see him go, but I'm sure it was important.
So that means 14 cars left in the race, 14 cars left on the lead lap, and once again, as has been the case most of the race, especially ever since Tim Johnston retired, Jeff Ward is controlling the pace up front, but this time though, he's got a driver right behind him.
Yeah, James Krahula is bugging him right now. Definitely getting the pressure on here just a little bit as we ride on board with the 4 of Krahula. He gets right up on him there in the turn. James a little bit better in the center of the turn right now, it seems like.
Yeah, and Krahula in second and Dalton in third. That's where they are in the championship. That's not Jeff Ward, the leader in the championship. As we mentioned earlier, it's Brian Jarzik leading the points. So right now this is a big points day for Krahula and Dalton if they can keep it up there, but still 36 circuits left to go.
Paul Pepper trying to pick up another spot back here. He does it on Devin Cannon. Gets around Cannon, who is really, really working hard, but boy, Pepper just seems to be better right now. He's definitely determined. Now he's got to go get Tommy Ryan. Oh boy, real close back there between Cannon and Gary Whitson. Boy, they were door to door.
Yeah, and let's not forget when Pepper gets to Tommy Ryan, and those are the two that made contact to send Pepper back there, which begs the question of, did Tommy Ryan miss his pit stall for him to be back there in 5th? Because he was running a lot better than that, I thought.
Well, he's not better than Travis McQuistion right now. McQuistion doing a good job of holding him off. This is going to give Pepper an opportunity here to close that gap.
No, Tommy Ryan hit his mark, so went back and looked at these pit stops. He's just right back here, hanging around in 5th place right now. Krahula challenged Ward for a couple laps, but now he's dropped back of him a little bit.
I think maybe James was using up a little bit too much of that truck early. Decided to back off just a bit. Just keep him close. Keep him arm's length there, James. If we go green, you'll have a chance to get him here with 5 to go, probably.
And we saw Krahula demonstrate earlier what can happen if you... Drops back a lot of positions.
Yeah, Randy Oakham having a big moment there.
Look at the 2 trucks in front of him. They've wrecked into the inside wall. Andrew Jones. And Dustin Hall was the other driver involved. Let's go back and watch the full lap. So lap 94 got very interesting. Randy Oakham, he grazed the wall going down the back straight, and then something weird happened there in turn 3. Drifts it, and everyone holds on to it, but then watch these two.
Right, now they make an evasive move there, and what happens is 37 comes up, gets Dustin Hall, and boy, those two hit hard as a result of that, Sam. Nothing intentional there, it was just, just in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. On board with the 37 of Dustin Hall here. You see Yoakum Hill run up the track here, trying to get away from that, and he makes that contact with Andrew Jones, and it just ends really bad for both of them.
Everyone into the pits. I would not be surprised to see some 2-tire stops here. So, Ward and Krahula lead them in. Who will lead them out?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? Let's see what they do here. See, everybody's right side's up.
Ward is doing 4. Krahula must be 2. Looks like they're all doing 4.
Yeah, it looks like that's the play.
Did Krahula win the race out of the pits and McQuiston second?
Did.
Ward had a slow stop. So the order going to be a bit shaken up for the restart. It'll come in a couple laps time. We're going to take one last break here on the GSRC, and we will be back for the final stint of the race. Working our 8th caution of the race. We're about to finish it up. Hopefully it's our last caution, with James Kahula leading Jeff Ward, Travis McQueistron, Tyler Dalton, Tommy Ryan, Gary Whitson, Paul Pepper, who's came back up to 7th after that spin recently, Devon Cannon, Jeff Gow, and Don Runkle Jr. rounding out the top 10. So, Ward, we feared he had dropped all the way back to 3rd. Turns out he's just back there in 2nd. He's been getting good restarts all night, but let's see what he can do when he's not in control. James Kahula, the number 4 truck on the inside, is the one who gets to choose when to go, and that time is now. And Ward, though, once again gets a nice restart. He's right there with Kahula.
Yeah, Kahula puts it down really low, though, and gets a good run so far off the turn. Ward's going to close him up just a bit here.
Yeah, Ward ran high in turns 1 and 2 to try and help him get the run down the back straight, but it didn't work. Meanwhile, they're running side by side for 5th back there. Tommy Ryan, Tyler Dalton really dropping back.
Yeah, it's Paul Pepper on the inside there, Sam. Meow.
We get up to conversations during our commercial breaks. James Kahula leading once again. Ward closing. Now what can he do as they come down the back straight into turn number 3? They're going to go side by side. You know Kahula's going to fight on the high side off. Is he going to try a crossover? Wow, no, he just gives it up.
He let him have it, yeah. Stepped aside, said, you can have it, Mr. Ward. I think James has got a plan here. Enough laps left to work with a plan. I think James knows that he can maybe pull off a move on him, but if I know James, he's gonna wait until he just absolutely necessary.
So running down the laps here as the field gets strung out. At least up front, back here for 7th. It's going to be exciting with Jeff Gow sliding on the high side, holds on to it, maybe not. No, he doesn't.
And of course, he's sliding in front of all those other trucks right there, and that does bring out another caution flag for us.
Hey, and we're going to get to see our good friend Brutus again. Explain why in a minute. You can see he's kind of sliding all the way through the turn. Looked like he caught it, but never quite did.
Boy, and Jeff's just had a very frustrating evening at times. He's been one of the greatest trucks on the track, and others just the worst luck. Right there, it wasn't handling for him. You're going to see him just break loose.
Yeah, here we are. John Wilco just came out of a pits after getting repairs. He blew up his engine coming out of turn 4 earlier with that damage. He is 47 laps down, but I think he's about to get our coastal... Oh, someone pointed out Dustin Hall has actually returned to the track in a 37. So I'm sorry, John Wilco, you will be stuck 47 laps down. I thought he'd be back up to 46 laps down and in with a chance. Dustin Hall will be now only 2 laps down because he was 3 laps down. Jeff Ward stays out on track, as does Paul Pepper, but most of the rest of the leaders coming in.
Yeah, this is, let's see, Jeff Ward, Paul Pepper, and Don Runkle all stay on the track. It's 8 laps on those tires. Tyler Dalton misses the pit entry again, or misses his stall getting in.
I think Dalton just takes 2 tires and wins the... No. Yeah,
you're right.
Out pit road, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He only takes 2. Looks like Randy Yoakum only took 2 in that mix, but everybody else taking 4.
How did Tommy Ryan get ahead of James Kahula?
He did. He beat him out of the pit.
Yeah, because Tommy Ryan took 4 tires. Okay, so Jeff Ward and Paul Pepper, the 2 drivers who have run 1-2 like that all race long, even though I don't think Pepper's led a single lap, will control the field on the restart ahead of Don Runkle Jr. and Tyler Dalton on old tyres. All 4 of those on old tyres. Oh, sorry. No, the top 3 are. Tyler Dalton's on 2. But then you get back to the driver starting in 5th place, Tommy Ryan, and then on back, I think all on 4.
Yeah, this is going to be a mixed bag. Obviously, we're going to be restarting with it. Should be interesting, Sam, to see who really has a better truck to deal with here over the last 19 laps. One thing is certain: it's time to boogie, baby.
Yeah, I think we've been averaging 2 cautions every 19 laps. I know that's not the news we want to hear. We wanted to go green until the end, have a good race up front. But just bear in mind that this order could definitely be a lot more mixed up when they come across the finishing line.
And it is now 20 to go. We'll have 19 to get restarted with. Can we make it all the way to the checkers, Sam, or is it just going to be a little too competitive out there? We'll see.
There are just 13 trucks left on the lead lap now. We saw Dustin Hall get his lucky dog. He wouldn't mind another 2 cautions. That'll put him back up on the lead lap. Okay,
I just pulled my magic 8-ball out and asked, will there be another caution? And the answer is highly probable.
Okay, I had one of those. It broke about a year ago.
Well, it's bad luck when they break.
Oh, I didn't know that. That would explain a lot recently, actually. Alright, pace car. Once again, into the pits. Jeff Ward has control of the field on the outside. Gets a nice restart once again. Paul Pepper's going to have pressure from behind.
And on the outside. Oh, and Pepper almost loses it. The truck almost comes around on him. He does a great job of saving it. Snoop Doggy Don Runkle digging there on the bottom, Sam.
It's very easy, though, to drive the entry of the turns at this track, and it looks like Kahula demonstrated earlier that if you do that too badly, truck just snaps loose on you, but Paul Pepper was able to hold on. The problem is, Ward is running away up front.
He really is. Pepper finally able to get around Tyler Dalton.
Of course, our first drive on 4 fresh Goodyears, I think it's Tommy Ryan. No, it's not. James Kahula's gone by him, but Kahula's stuck behind Dalton, who's on 2 old tyres. If Kahula can get back up to 2nd place, he's got newer tyres on Ward. That might be the one way they can stop Jeff Ward from pulling off a hat-trick tonight. We've got 3 wide at the back of the pack with Don Runkle Jr. on the high side. He's been dropping back. Andrew Jones on the middle. Randy Yoakum on the inside. Some of those drivers have had trouble recently, but they're still out there on the lead lap fighting.
Yeah, Jeff Gow now gets to the inside of Don Runkle back there. That's that red and white EB Games truck.
Yeah, we just saw Kahula make a nice pass on the outside of Tyler Dalton for 3rd place. Well, now he knows he can do that. Can he do the same on Peppers? Dalton going defensive. Does Dalton have trouble? He really lost a lot of time to Tommy Ryan on the front straight.
I think Dalton's just, feeling the pain of making a mistake and suffering from it right now. He's now starting to gather it back up, but you're right. Ryan did get by, and Kahula is sailing now. Going to try and grab on with Paul Pepper here and go catch Jeff Ward with 15 laps to go.
Yeah, caution or not, things are going to get very interesting. But if Kahula can get by Paul Pepper. What about Tommy Ryan? Remember, he's on 4 fresh good years back and forth. He's lost a bit of time to Kahula though.
I wonder about Tommy Ryan. I just don't know that he's ever looked comfortable at this track tonight. He's fought so hard, and there he sits right where he started in 4th place. It's one of those nights where you go, well, we've got a top 5 truck. I don't know if we had a winning truck, but maybe this is just where Tommy's supposed to be. He is holding off Tyler Dalton, and that is a good thing right now. But I just don't know if he can get to Kahula. Kahula now fighting with Paul Pepper, almost gets around, makes contact with him, Sam.
Yeah, boy, he was going to go to the inside, but then Paul Pepper shut the door on him. He went high, but then that's really cost Kahula in turns 3 and 4, and Tommy Ryan and Tyler Dalton catch right up to him.
Boy, so much is lost when your momentum gets broken here. So hard to get it back up.
Kahula will have to run Pepper down all again, and now it's almost, you could almost say that unless a caution comes out, don't know if he could catch Ward. Change for 5th place from Question on Dalton. Dalton gets a bump from behind by Cannon, and Cannon loses it! And into the pits, no caution. Slams into the inside pit wall. That's not good news for Cannon though.
Not good news for Cannon, but fortunate for the rest of the field. Kahula still trying to dig and go up and get Paul Pepper.
Cannon just drives through the pits, comes back out, he's on the lead lap, but I almost wonder if he's going to have to serve a drive-through penalty next time around because he was probably speeding entering the pits. What can Tommy Ryan do? He's behind Kahula here. Man, ever since Kahula had the door shut on him by Pepper, he's not been able to run him back down.
I believe he found that quite rude, quite offensive, and he's taking a timeout right now, just cooling off.
League organisers have cleared the black flag on Devin Cannon. They noticed that he was out of control when he was speeding entering the pits and said, no, you don't have to come back down and serve a penalty. The big story behind that, of course, is if a caution comes out, Cannon will still be on the lead lap.
I said Tommy Ryan didn't have enough to get to Kahula. Well, he's there. And, I think Tommy might actually be able to execute a move here with now 9 laps to go. Anything can happen here, Sam.
Especially considering they're catching Paul Pepper again.
I was just going to say, I'm starting to think that that's really is going to come down to the last lap between Kahula and Paul Pepper if we stay green here, and Tommy Ryan's going to try and throw himself into this mix somehow.
Well, remember the last time we saw this, it was pretty much exactly this, if I recall. Paul Pepper was ahead of Kahula, lost the position, tried to come down the gap ahead of Tommy Ryan, and they made contact. So we get to try it all again.
Yeah, we get to go through all of that again We wind up with a different result. That's the big question. That's what we're trying to figure out here. Krahula getting a great run off of 4. Low looks to the inside, down into 1. Look at that.
That was a nice fake. He said, I'm going to pass you on the high side, and then he changed his mind. From the F1 side, that's what we expect out of drivers like Nigel Mansell, but Paul Pepper has lost that position. Now he's got to hold off Ryan, and of course Krahula will try and run down Jeff Ward, but I think it's way too little too late now. He's over 2 seconds back.
Yeah, sometimes it comes down to math, Sam, and the math doesn't add up right now. Krahula's getting away. Paul Pepper's got to be really careful here. Tommy Ryan's just about found a way to get around. Be tough. Pepper has been so good.
Well, let's see what the lap times are. I'm just keeping an eye on the lap times between Ward and Krahula over the line. Ward runs a 30.7, Krahula 30.6. Yeah, that would work about 20 laps ago. What can Ryan do with Pepper? Meanwhile, a pretty good pack back there for 5th with McQueestren ahead of Dalton and Gary Whitson. And Ryan is running out of laps and miles left to make this move. 4 laps left to go, 4 miles. Caution would end it.
Tyler Dalton still back here fighting for a spot, trying to get it away from McQuestion. That's a battle for 5th. Dalton trying to get into the top 5, made a charge at him, and now backs off. He loses that momentum after trying to get around. This battle still a great one here, though, between Tommy Ryan and Paul Pepper.
I wonder if Ryan will give Pepper a break here. Remember in that it was contact between them that sent Pepper around earlier on in the race.
Yeah, indeed it was.
I mean, it wasn't his fault, but, well, that can be argued, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he feels that, hey, we had this situation once and it didn't end well for you. I don't know. We'll find out in the next 2 laps. It could just be a matter of Ryan doesn't have anything for Pepper. Jeff Ward coming up to lap traffic of Devon Cannon, who has been involved in trouble. Well, we saw him have that slide out of turn 4, and unfortunately now he does go a lap down. And talk about a lap, that's all we've got left. Jeff Ward crosses the line, white flag is in the air, and it looks like, barring a disaster, he is about to pick off his 3rd consecutive victory. We don't see him up there in the points yet. I'm assuming that's because of attendance, but he still has half a season to see how many wins he can tally and just how well he can work his way up in the championship standings. As he comes out of turn 4, Jeff Ward gets the hack trick.
James Krahula going to get that 2nd spot, and then Paul Pepper going to round out the podium. Both drivers with great drives tonight. Tommy Ryan 4th, McQuestion 5th.
Yeah, good effort by the drivers up front tonight. Several cautions in the middle of a race, but a nice green flag run to finish it. And I think we have a very deserved winner here with the driver of the 89. He's won the last 3 oval races. Well, they'll be going to Lucas Oil Raceway next week, so maybe I'll be able to pick off a 4th one there before we mix things up with the road course. Our next broadcast of the series on the Global Sim Racing channel in 2 weeks' time. We'll give you more details in just a moment. Before that, we're going to let Ward celebrate. We're going to take a quick break to get everyone mic'd up here for driver interviews. Stick around on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hello and welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile, where we just witnessed 125 laps of racing action here at the Wisconsin State Fair 125 of Premier Racing League's American Pool Supply Truck Series, and Jeff Ward just pulled off his third consecutive victory after starting in second position. James Kahula came behind him by a couple of seconds after making a pass on Paul Pepper late on in the going there. Tommy Ryan couldn't make a move on Paul Pepper, couldn't run him down in the closing stages. He finishes fourth. Nice run by Travis McQuistrom. We didn't really talk about him as much as we probably should have, because he brings home a top 5 finish ahead of Tyler Dalton. Let's not forget Tyler Dalton's doing well in the points. So, 6th place finish. I'm sure he would have liked a bit more than that, but it'll definitely move him closer to Brian Jarzik. Gary Whitson back here in 7th after being outside the top 10 early on. Randy Yoakum, now we get to drivers at the tail end of the top 10. Randy Yoakum, Jeff Gow and Andrew Jones, who all had a bit of trouble tonight, but at the end of the day, Sean, they were able to salvage a top 10 finish.
All right, let's move on past the top 10. Now go to 11. Snoop Doggy Don Runkle. Boy, he almost cracked the top 10. He'll finish 11th tonight. Stephen Herring, 12th. Now, the first car lap down, that's going to be Devin Cannon. Dustin Hall going to finish 14th. Norm Pelletier, 15th. None of these trucks finished here. John Wilco, 16th. Derek Paulson, 17th. Ricky Harden, 18th. Tim Johnson, 19th. And Rick Thompson, a really, really tough night. Even though the pool was clean, the truck was dirty, and it did not finish well. 20th place for Rick tonight.
Yeah, out of 20 trucks there who ended up starting, we got confirmation Ricky Harden had a 6th child, so that's why he was a bit late to the start of the race. Well, let's go 3, 2, 1. Let's start by talking to our 3rd place finisher, Paul Pepper.
There's Paul. Paul, congratulations. Podium finish tonight, buddy.
Thanks, man. A bit of a rebound there, but feels good to come home where we probably should have finished.
Well, it was kind of a rough night on track here at the Milwaukee Mile. Talk a little bit about the track and how the truck felt out there on track. Was it more the racing or more the track that was kind of getting everybody out of shape this evening?
The track wasn't too bad. It's just such a unique line at Milwaukee. You got to kind of enter high and let it come down to the bottom and clip the rumble strips on exit, and it causes some guys to drive over their head and whatnot. But all around a good night, and I didn't think it was too squirrely there. The truck felt pretty good. I thought it was going to break loose on exit a bunch of times, but it was actually pretty stable. So.
Well, we continue the run of ovals next week. We go to Lucas Oil. You boys will get your shot at that. What are your impressions of the old Indianapolis race park there?
I love that track. I'm bummed that I'm going to miss that. I'm going to head up to work on Tuesday, but should be good. I'm sure it'll carry over some tempers from tonight with a few people. But yeah, I'm sorry I'm going to miss that race. That's going to be a fun track.
Well, Paul, again, congratulations to you, buddy, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, Tim Ford, just want to thank Outliers Mining Solutions for the sponsorship. I want to thank I want to congratulate Jeff Ward on his victory, and thank LPM for all the support. And yeah, I'm sure we made some friends out there tonight, so we'll see how the weeks go here coming.
All right, folks, that was Paul Pepper. Now, Sam, we'll move on to second place with you and Mr. James Krahula.
Yeah, James Krahula brought back a 2nd place finish, James, but I have a feeling you were thinking if you could have got by Paul a little bit quicker, you may have had something for the win.
Yeah, Jeff Ford was the fastest car. I think we can stay with them. I think he just had that little bit of an edge, but having the fresher tires there towards the end, if I could have gotten around Paul a lot quicker, I think that I would have had a chance to at least get back up to his bumper and and try for the win there. And apparently Paul wasn't excited with how I raced him. I don't think I did anything to deserve anything to be mad about, but oh well. I still love Paul. Anyway, look forward to, I hope that he's not too mad at me, because I'm going to see him at Darlington here in a few weeks, and he's, man, doing all that mining and all that type of stuff. He kicked my butt if he really wanted to, so hopefully he's not too mad at me, and we'll be good tomorrow. But anyway, no, it's a good second place finish, especially with Brian hanging out in the cornfields of Iowa here tonight. It was good to gain a few points on him and try and have a good finish here for the championship.
Yeah, talk about the championship. You're only 18 points behind Brian with just half a season left to go now. Which other drivers in the standings are you looking out for there?
Well, it's been, man, I feel bad about Tim. I heard that I got loose going into turn one, and that caused him to get checked up and get taken out. And if I would have controlled my truck, I would have. He'd still be racing and everything. So I apparently I'm to blame for that one, and I'll take responsibility. I raced great with Tim, week in and week out. He's one of my favorite people to race, and so I hate to see something bad happen to him. But he's quick, and he could definitely be. He's probably the other person I'm most worried about for this championship. So I hate to. Have been the cause of his misfortune tonight and everything. I hope he can rebound here in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we confessed when we saw it was a very bizarre incident. It looked so innocent at first, but almost looked like an open wheel crash where Tim ended up running over your rear wheel, kind of launched the front left of that car into the air. So, seems like there's a little bit of tempers and all that going into Lucas Oil Raceway next week. Now, that won't be on the GSRC, but in 2 weeks' time, we'll be back for Mosport. Are you looking forward to the road courses?
Definitely looking forward to the road courses, and we have tempers will carry over the next week. I've never seen a group of people hate each other and love each other so much as we do over here in the Premier Racing League. But it's always people that seem to like each other that seem to keep getting mad at each other. I'm sure the tempers will keep up here next week at Lucas Oil, and then. I definitely have been involved in timbers at Mosport too a couple years ago. I think on GSRC. I think that you were calling that race, Sam. So, we'll have a couple good weeks coming up here, and I'm looking forward to it. I like the short tracks. There's going to be more short tracks here next year, and so it's just going to be the nature of the beast, and I'm looking forward to it.
There you heard it, guys. You heard it from the guy who runs this in himself. This series is like a giant family Thanksgiving party. Alright, well, thanks for coming to talk to us, James. We look forward to seeing you back in action.
Thanks, guys.
So now let's talk to the driver who crossed the line in first position. Sean, you've called up with Jeff Ward.
Jeff Ward, congratulations. That's 3 in a row, buddy. You just keep racking them up. I imagine pretty soon here you'll be in this points championship race.
Yeah, Sean, I feel like we kind of got the monkey off our back. Feels good to win at Milwaukee. I really like Milwaukee, and 3 in a row, that's awesome. We're pretty far back in points, so we really got to keep getting top threes if we want to have any chance at the end. I think we're probably too far back, but you never know. Some guys could have bad luck and we could sneak in the picture, but yeah, man, that was an awesome race tonight. Had a blast. Hated to see Tim have trouble. There at the beginning, I think, me and him were kind of neck to neck, and he definitely had one of the cars to beat. So hated to see that for Tim. And, it's you got to take them how you can get them, though, and feels good.
Well, it should feel good. 3 in a row, that's pretty tough to do. I don't care who you are. You head to Lucas Oil. Dare we even talk about 4? I mean, you're pretty good, seems to be, on these small tracks. Yeah, I like Lucas Oil, but you know how the short tracks are. We're going to go in there with kind of a target on our back, and it's not out of the question for guys to beat and bang and go out there and have some fun. So it could turn out good, and it could turn out real bad. So
probably just go out there and try to ride and keep the momentum going and just bring home a top 3.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. Then we will wish you the best and hope that it does continue to work out for you. Because listen, I know if you keep winning, that's the best way to get yourself in this championship fight. So 3 in a row, maybe 4, we'll see. But wins equals great points and should get you something here eventually if you keep knocking these things down, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. I just want to say thanks to LPM. Thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. And I got some. My dad actually watches these races too when we broadcast them, so give a shout out to him. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right, and that was Jeff Ford, our big winner tonight, Sam. And boy, what a race! A lot of fun here at the Milwaukee Mile, and hope to be back here next year with the trucks.
You compare this to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Sean, and some people historically have said New Hampshire is kind of like Martinsville on steroids, where it's just a bit of a faster version of short track racing where there's beating and banning and tempers, and it sounds like there will be some of those perhaps heading into Lucas Oil Raceway next week. However, as we mentioned, that will not be carried on the Global Sim Racing channel, but if you're interested in the Premier Racing League, be sure to check them out. In 2 weeks' time, we will be at Mosport, the road course up in Canada, for the Canada 100, and that will be the same time, Sunday night, in 2 weeks' time. If you do like what you saw out of the Premier Racing League drivers racing at Milwaukee, and I'll tell you, we definitely saw some exciting racing action up front, be sure to check back in with us Thursday night at 9 PM Eastern Time, where the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series will also be racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. So you'll get to see many of the same names racing here in the Cup cars, and we'll see how that goes down. Until then, though, we've got a few people we would like to thank, including the drivers and the organisers of the Premier Racing League, for coming here tonight and putting on a great show. We would also like to thank the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts, and there you see them listed on your screen. Additional thanks to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde to provide us with our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get hold of more of their great work. Also, thanks to the team today, Sean, Joe and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it on globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can check out our social media on Twitter at GSR Channel, or Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. Our next race for this series that will be broadcast, as we mentioned, will be in 2 weeks' time at Mosport. We also have the upcoming races for our other series listed on the screen, so check those out, mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.